Hello, original human beings. This video is the third video of Origin series after Origin of Earth and Origin of Life. In Origin of Life, we saw how first bacteria is formed and how DNA in the nucleus of bacteria was formed. We saw during base pairing with RNA chain, nucleotide C base pair with nucleotide G and nucleotide A base pair with nucleotide T. But sometimes, very rarely, nucleotide get base paired with the wrong pair. Here, in spite of nucleotide G, T is base pairing with nucleotide C. This is called mutation. And when DNA replicates, same mutation passes on to the next generation. Including us humans, almost all living things' DNA are kept inside the nucleus of cells, being rolled around small protein stones and again rolled and arranged in X shape called chromosomes. Small changes happening in the order of nucleotides in DNA bring big changes in the body. For example, humans and chimpanzees' DNA is exactly same to 99%. All differences we see is done by 1% of the nucleotides in our DNA. Such changes, mutations in DNA, happened 3 million years ago to the first bacteria also. And thus, different kind of bacteria formed from one. Different animals of early Earth. Bacteria absorb minerals and metals from surrounding seawater through the gaps in their cell membrane. Sometimes, smaller bacteria used to get absorbed by big bacteria and end up being their food. But once, a small bacteria called mitochondria changed the history of the world. As food, a bigger bacteria absorbed mitochondria, but mitochondria refused to die. Mitochondria continued what it did usually, absorbing sugar from outside and releasing energy called ATP. Mitochondria lived inside the bigger bacteria prosperously because it got more sugar and starch inside the bigger bacteria's body than in the seawater. And the bigger bacteria got extra energy from mitochondria as ATP. When cell multiplication happened to the bigger bacteria, mitochondria also continued its journey inside the bigger bacteria. Because of extra energy got from ATP, other bacteria couldn't reach anywhere near the cellular activity of the bigger bacteria, which has mitochondria in it. Failing to catch up with the bacteria having mitochondria inside them, other normal bacteria were forced to say bye from Earth forever. First extinction of our Earth. All other bacteria which don't have mitochondria got extinct forever. This small bacteria called mitochondria actually started a new history of multicellular animals. A new world with microorganisms having mitochondria inside the body came into existence. Like the combination of big bacteria and mitochondria, different other mixing-ups also happened. But to change is the habit of nature. This time, change was brought to the world by a bacteria called Cyanobacteria. The main food of cyanobacteria is carbon dioxide. Cyanobacteria makes a living by absorbing sunlight. It uses photon in the sunlight to extract carbon from carbon dioxide and uses this carbon to produce organic compounds. They eject electrons and oxygen from their body as waste. This oxygen was kind of like a new phase in our old Earth. 3 billion years ago, most of the multicellular organisms used to breathe gases like methane, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. Those who breathe oxygen, and even oxygen was very less in those times. As the big bacteria got electron energy from cyanobacteria, their numbers started increasing rapidly, and through mutation, different varieties originated. As their main food is sunlight, they were really lightweight. So they were floating on the surface of water. Slowly, whole ocean got covered by cyanobacteria. The oxygen that cyanobacteria breathed out created big changes in our world. Oxygen, which has a molecular mass of 32 grams, slowly started pushing lighter gases like methane and nitrogen out of water and slowly to higher atmosphere. First time in the history of Earth, oxygen and those who breathe oxygen dominated. As methane, carbon dioxide and nitrogen vanished to the higher atmosphere, those who breathed those gases succumbed to their deadly fate. This was the biggest mass extinction Earth ever saw, leaving only those who breathe oxygen to exist. Oxygen didn't stop its activities there. Oxygen absorbed electrons from iron present in water and made iron rest. Soon, ocean water became red, rusty water. Oxygen then reacted with methane in air, and water and carbon dioxide is formed. This increased the amount of water even further, and whole of Earth got covered by the red, rusty ocean. Below, reddish water, and above it, a green sheet of cyanobacteria. This was our Earth 2.5 billion years ago. Cyanobacteria didn't stop there. More and more oxygen formed, and oxygen pushed away greenhouse gases like methane further away from Earth. As greenhouse gases was away, temperature of Earth dropped drastically and the red rusty water turned into ice. Our Earth, which started her journey as a molten sphere, now is covered with thick ice and started first ice age called Huronian glaciation period, which extended to a span of 3,000 lakh years. And our Earth was getting ready for a new battle. As there was surplus of oxygen, organisms started growing more fastly and mutations was also happening fast. Slowly, eyes, limbs started to form, and the first sex on Earth also happened during this time. How it all happened, let's see in the next episode. Have a good time. Stay home, stay safe.